Hi, I'm James with British Customs. Today we're going to be installing the shotgun slip-on exhaust on this 2022 Scrambler 1200. A few things to note. On 21 and 22 models, they have moved the cat to the back here. 2020 and earlier models, the cat was up here in the head pipe. So when you go to put this exhaust on a 21 or a 2022 model, it's going to be much louder than the previous years were. So we're going to start by removing our heat shields. Use our 5mm Allen hex bit. So now we can loosen our clamps here with our 5mm Allen hex bit again. Just need to loosen them enough so we can get the pipe off. You don't have to take them completely off. So now we can remove the two bolts back here. For this one on top, it would be helpful to remove your seat, because when you try to get a tool in here, you might damage your seat on the way up. Like right now it's clear, but as I come up, it's going to want to hit the seat. So just take it off and then it's out of our way. So now we'll remove this bolt. It's a 12mm socket. So your other bolt comes in at this angle from underneath the fender here. Again, 12mm socket. So now we can just slide these off. So now we're going to weigh this pipe. This is pretty heavy with the cat and everything back here. It definitely weighs a lot more than what we're going to be putting on there. So 15 3/4 with the OEM tail section. So let's see how our slip-ons come in. Okay. Just under 6.5. So you're saving almost 10 pounds there. So now we're ready to install our shotgun exhaust. The longer pipe goes on the top and the shorter one on the bottom, just like that. Start with the bottom pipe. We want to put our clamp on. Easiest to do it if you put it with the Allen socket part facing towards the top and the back. You want to make sure that you're butted all the way up against the stop right there. And that's what it should look like with your clamp. Now we can tighten this clamp with our 5mm Allen hex bit. So now when you're tightening this clamp down, you want to get as close to the end there as you can. You'll get a better clamp load on it, but you want to be careful not to be clamping on top of the stop. So try and keep a little gap there where you can see for sure that you're not doing it. Because if you get on the stop, it's not going to be tightening down on the pipe. And these steps will be the same for previous years. It may look different up here because of your cat and everything being up on the earlier years, 20 and earlier, but it's still the same steps. Now we can install the top pipe. want to set that so it's up towards the top. Get that nice and tight against the stop there. We'll tighten this again with our 5mm Allen hex bit. You want to get these pretty tight, but you don't want to break out your 3/8 drive ratchet on this and make it way too tight. So tight enough that the pipes aren't moving when you're done. Okay, it's nice and tight. So when these are assembled correctly, you're gonna have both the tabs lying on top of each other. There's your bottom one and the top one, and then they should sit flat on the mounting point there. These holes don't need to be perfectly aligned. The tabs don't need to be perfectly aligned. As long as they're butted up against the stop in the front, then the alignment should end up perfect in the back here. And just make sure you can get a screw into that hole there. If for some reason one of these is angled slightly different, then you need to loosen the clamp in the front and twist it until it's correct. Okay, now we can put the screw in here. Grab the screw from our kit, put some blue Loctite on it. You may have to pull the pipes a little bit just to get to the hole. Then with our 6mm Allen hex bit, so next we're going to put the heat shields on, but before you do that, you want to make sure that these are nice and flush back here. If they're not, then you can loosen this bolt and loosen this heat shield to move this pipe back until you get it even, or same thing here. If this one's too far forward and needs to come back, just loosen that one and loosen that bolt. Give it a little tap with a rubber mallet or something until it comes even, and tighten them all back down. Then you want to wipe this down with some alcohol before you put the heat shield on top of it, and then you'll wipe these back down again in the back. There won't be a heat shield going back on the back, so if you have a passenger with you, you want to make sure that they're wearing proper riding gear, because these pipes will get hot without the heat shield on it, and they're going to be coming right across it. So you don't want anybody getting burned. Okay, so now we can put the heat shield on. This is a 2-piece heat shield. So you want to make sure you have both pieces in place. This slides in under there. I recommend putting this bolt in first because that's holding on up there. So find your screw hole in there, get it started. So now with a 5mm Allen hex bit, get that one started. Now if these holes aren't lining up, something's out of alignment here. So again, you would have to loosen all this up and get everything to line up. You get a little bit of play in here to make up for any difference in tolerances. But if they're that far off that you can't get the screw in, then something's not lined up right. You want to loosen it all up and get everything lined up, and then tighten it all back down again. These don't have to be crazy tight. The small screws. So now we just want to give it one final wipe down. You want to make sure you don't have any fingerprints on this stainless steel, because once you fire it up, you're going to burn those fingerprints right into the pipe. There is no rear heat shield, so once that's all wiped down, we can go put our seat back on. And that's it for the shotgun slip-on exhaust.